Hello, good morning. Please kindly confirm that you can hear me.
From my end, I can hear you, sir.
We can hear
Good morning,
you.
sir.
Yes. Okay, so I would like to welcome you to for data analysis and Excel for intermediate disaster training. So it's wonderful to see you all. As I can see, most of us are now available in the session. So and I want to thank each and every one of you for your commitment to the learning journey. So over the past two sessions, okay, so over the past two sessions of this training, we covered a lot of. Hello, please kindly confirm that I can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay. So thank you very much. So over the past two sessions of this training, so we've covered a lot of ground, like applying intermediate Excel functions to analyze and interpret operational data effectively. And we dived into tools like pivot tables and lookup functions. All of these are crucial for our work in Ikeja Electric. So your engagement and your um, your dedication have made this session not only productive but also enjoyable. So I hope you all are starting to feel more confident in your Excel skills and seeing how you can directly benefit from this Excel session. So for today, we'll dive even deeper into some of these exciting and powerful features of Excel, which is pivot table, conditional formatting, and creating a dashboard. Those are the major things that I'm diving into today. So and this will help you present your data in a way it, that it is both insightful and impactful. So we would like to also focus on scenarios like in analysis, allowing you to like forecast and evaluate different outcomes based on various inputs. So I encourage you to take full advantage of today's session. Take and don't hesitate to ask questions or share your experiences as we go on. So I would like you to remember that every question is an opportunity for learning. And just for you, hello, please can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
We
yeah,
can
we
hear
hear you.
you.
We
We
can hear
can
you.
hear you.
You know, okay, all right. Thank you very much. So not just for you, but for everyone in this room. So um, as we move forward, think about how these new skills can be applied in your daily tasks. Consider the challenges you face and how the tools we are discussing today can help you overcome them. And this training is not just about gaining knowledge. Yes, so thank you very much. So this training is not just about gaining knowledge. It's about empowering you to make data-driven decisions that can enhance our operations. So we already sent the document that we are going to use for today's training to our mail. So I would like you all to save those the documents as we move on today. So thank you for your dedication and engagement throughout this training from the beginning of the session, which is last week. So this will be the third day of the training. So I'm excited to see how we can apply this, what we've learned so far, in which we are concluding today. So let's make this session another successful and enjoyable experience. So Mr. Abdugani, please kindly confirm that you can hear me. Are you in the meeting?
Yes, I
Are
can
you
hear you
with us?
clearly.
All right, thank you very much. So you can take over, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well,
Good
good.
morning, guys. Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear
Good
you.
morning.
Kindly go ahead.
Good
Kindly
morning.
go ahead.
So we are only 11 here. So today is Monday, so we'll have the opportunity to wait for some of us. So we'll just be starting. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. So in the last class we gave us a task. So have we done the task? Do we have anyone finding it difficult to do the task? So let's start from there first. For the task that we're given. So do we have any feedback regarding the task? Okay. I assume we all understand the task. So the task says we should write a formula that can automatically retrieve the error collected based on the selected PPM manager and months. So I know some of us will think, oh, we should try to use a VLOOKUP. We should use VLOOKUP to return the error collected for this particular PPM manager. However, we now have months. So we have this validated by the PPM manager's name for different months. So we have Adetokunbo. Yeah, Adetokunbo has LR collected for 7 months. So if you say you want to try to use a VLOOKUP for this might be difficult for you to do. So the easiest one that we can use is the SUMIFS. The SUMIFS that we tried to do last week. So how are we going to go about this? We say equals SUMIFS. What is our sum range? This is our sum range, which is our LR collected, then comma, then the criteria range. The criteria range is the PPM manager's name. So I know PPM manager's name, comma, then what's the criteria? Adetokunbo. Comma, what's the criteria range to, which is for the months. The criteria range 2 is for the months, comma, and the criteria 2 is the month. So here now we have for the month of July for Adetokunbo, this would give us 6.7. So if we go through our data that we have here, if we can find for Adetokunbo, Adebowale for the month of July. Adetokunbo for the month of July, you can see. So this has retrieved the data for us. So we can as well change the names. So this is Adeyinka. You can decide to change the month for March. Then this is dynamically responding to the formula that we've inputted. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So the next one is the tax 3. The tax 3 says
No, you have more than 20 customers on particular DT. Since when they install the meter, they have not.
thank you. So the next one says we should use the data of validation to populate the DT. So first, let me try to remove the data validation that we have here. Let's try to clear. Good. So here, we have been told that populate the DT in cell A5. This is our cell A5 using data validation. Then we should use our VLOOKUP to look up the values from January to. So we want to validate cell A5 with all these details. So how do we go about that? We go to our cell A5, we go to our data, then we select our data validation. So what's the criteria that we want? We want a list. So we select a list. That's all. I have a list of details I want to validate in this cell. Then I go and look for the list. So I've selected the list and I hit my OK. So this cell has been validated with all the details that I have here. So I can decide to select any of the details. So now the next is for me to use the VLOOKUP to return the value for the detail that is selected here. So I'm saying equals VLOOKUP. What's my lookup value is this detail from this table array, comma. And I want you to return column 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8. And I want you to return the exact match. So this has returned the 7-month data for this DT. And as such, we have a chart here that is showing us for the DT that we've selected. So if I try to select another DT, we'll try to reduce those bits. Okay. Okay. So if we select a DT, so I select Terebrino, then we have our chart here changing automatically based on the DT that we've selected. Do we have any question regarding this before we move to the subject of the day?
Good morning. Sorry, I understand this. For the tax 1, is it only some if we can use? I thought probably we would use VLOOKUP for that tax 1 also that you did. Because when I tried using doing it, though I did some 1 or 2 things before I could use the VLOOKUP. So it was actually VLOOKUP I used for the tax 1, not the sum if you used. So is it like this VLOOKUP is not correct, or I don't understand?
So when you try to use your VLOOKUP, when you change any of the name or the month, were you able to retrieve the LOR collected?
Yes.
So throw in the formula in the chat box. Let's
Okay.
use it now. So do we have any other question?
I can't send message on the chat box. I don't know. It's saying you can't send message because you are not a member of the chat. I don't know why I'm having that. You are muted. We can't hear you.
So L&D, please kindly allow people to be able to use the chat box. So now you said you tried to use the VLOOKUP. Okay. So now let me do this
But
here.
I actually combined the PPM manager and the months together before I could use it.
I don't understand. So
I said
the months
I combined
and
the two together. No, the name and the month before I could get the LOR. Before I could, yes, I did a column whereby I could combine the two together so I can get the LOR.
oh, now you are saying, so what you did was to join what you have in the name and in the month together to make it
Yes.
unique.
Yes.
So for any time you are now looking up, it's looking up for the unique value. Thank you. So if you look at VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP will only look for one lookup value, one ID. So you've been able to look at, VLOOKUP, let me look at how I can magnify it. So you join the name and the month together so that will just be one value. So anytime you are looking it up, so let's say this is what insert. Okay, let me do it insert it here. So equals these and this. So let me. I'm happy that someone tried to use this. So then came here to say equals VLOOKUP. What's my lookup value? These and this. That's my lookup value, comma. In my table array, comma, then return column 4 for me. Then this was what you did. Am I correct? Let me bring out some. So do we have anyone that has done anything? So this is what you did.
Yes.
That's a smart way. Mr. Gabriel. Okay. So thank you very much, Madam. I think it's Madam Ruth that I'm talking to, Shay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So for today we would be, so do we have any other person that has any other formula that they use to retrieve this? No one. Okay. Thank you very much. So for today, we'll be starting with the, should we start with some product or should we start with conditional formatting? Okay, let's start with the conditional formatting. We have, okay. So we have conditional formatting. So just the way the name implies, conditional formatting. So we want our data to be formatted based on a particular condition. That's the meaning of conditional formatting. And if we go to our home tab, I have a response here. Some of these, okay. And I'm blessing, try to use what you've given us. Taxon. Okay, yeah, you're correct. So if I change it to 100, okay, you're correct. Thank you very much, Madam Blessing. So if we say we want to use conditional formatting, just the way the name implies, let me format this based on a particular condition. How do we enable our conditional formatting? When we go to our home tab, under the styles, then we will see conditional formatting. So the conditional formatting, we have the highlight cell rules, top bottom, the data bar, the icon set, then the color scales. So what this does for us is it makes it easy for us to actually have an insight about our data. So let's say I have this set of data that I have here, and I want to use conditional formatting on this. So say I want to use my data bars. So if I use my data bar here, and I use any of the data bar, what this simply means is looking at all the data, is comparing them to each other. For the one that has the lowest value, it's giving it a low bar. For the one that is having a high value, it's giving it a high bar. So this will be easy for us to say, oh, what's happening in this month? Why do you have low value here? Let's try to filter to the PPM manager here. Be good. So looking at this, I already know, oh, for the month of February, I have low LOR collected. So I have used conditional formatting on this. So that's for the, I'm using the data bar. Also, we can use our color scale. So when you use your color scale also will compare. You can easily see that, oh, for where I have the green values, that's the place I'm trying to do well. For the ones I have yellow, the ones I'm still struggling, and the ones I have red, that's where I'm not performing. But in a case where you have, let's use I for instance, when you have high ATC and C, that is when it is poor. When you have low ATC and C, that is when you are doing well. And you want to use your conditional formatting on these. You can also use the second color scale also. So this now is telling me now that, oh, for the one that I have green, that is where I'm performing well. So this might be, let's say, let's give this a percentage. And then I have 30%, I have 12%, I have 60, 70, 14. I have minus 5%. I have 45%. So in this case, let's look at this etc and see. So in this case, when you have etc and C that is low, that's when you're performing well. So I can highlight this, then go to my conditional formatting to say I want to use a color scale, then use the second one. So here I already know that, oh, for the one I have a negative 5%, that's where I'm making profit on that particular feeder. So that's how conditional formatting works. You can also try to use your icon sets. So you have an icon set also, just to make it easy for you to be able to say, oh, what's happening here? This is where I'm performing. This is where I'm not performing. That's how conditional formatting is. Help me format this based on this condition. I can also decide to say, oh, let me undo this. Control Z, Control Z. So I can say, let me use for values less than, so that I can give it a value to say a values less than 10% or values. So give it a yellow field, dark good, then I okay. So this has formatted this based on the criteria I said, oh, any value less than 10%. That's what I want you to format for me. So that's how conditional formats works. However, you can also take the conditional formatting a bit higher to say, oh, if you meet this criteria, help me format my cell like this.
Hello, Mr. Abdul.
Yes.
It's as if you're a bit fast. I cannot even know where you click those icons that, like where you put this 10%. I don't even know where you clicked to get that.
Okay.
Take you a bit faster, please. That's for me. I don't know for others.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
You know, today is Monday. We still have some people that will go to field. So I'll try to,
Okay. I got
because
you.
we need to round up one or two things to do.
I got you, sir.
So Control Z, good. So I said, let's say we want to format these our ATC and C for values less than 20%, for instance. And it is just the ones that are less than 20% I want you to format for me. When I highlight my data, then I go to my conditional formatting. I have an option that says highlight cell rows. So in this case, you can set your condition either greater than, less than, or in between. You can even decide to highlight to do a conditional formatting on your duplicates. But for this case, we say we want you to format the ATC and C that is less than 20%. So then I use the less than option. So for the less than option, I'm specifying that, oh, the ones that are less than 20%, that's what I want you to format for me. Then you can decide to use a custom formatting to say, oh, I want you to fill it green for me. And I okay it. So based on the condition I've given it, it has highlighted the ATC and C that are less than 20%, leaving others. So I have, let's find a random number for modern roots equals round between. Let's find a random number from 100 to 500. So good. Let's copy these. Let's not even copy it first. Just say random. Okay. Then I want to say, give me, highlight numbers that are between 200 to 300 or 200 to 500 using the conditional formatting. Then I go to my conditional formatting, highlight cell values, then I can say between. Then between words, I'll give it a value between 200 and 400. So then let me give it another, give it, okay, good. Then, okay. So this has highlighted the numbers that are between 200 to 400 for me. I hope we understand this.
Sure, sir.
Okay. And another person might say, I want to use the icon sets. I want to use this also. So that's how conditional formatting is. So the sweetest part of conditional formatting is you can even use a formula to specify the cells you want to format. You can format a cell based on the value that you have. Now, if we go back to the if statement that we did, if you go back to the if statement that we did, so if you go back to the if statement that we did, I hope we all have the updated file. I hope you have the updated file. And please confirm if you have the updated file.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it, was that shared this morning or when?
Yes, this morning.
Okay.
So
Please, which sheets are you on, sir?
I'm on if statements. Mr. Adebayo.
And we have if statement and if statement A. So I don't know.
Okay. So thank you for calling my attention to that. So for those that were unable to join the class, the first and second class, for those that are relying on the videos I'll be sent. So for the A, you see if statement A, type of formula, type formula A. So that's the answer for the practice file. So that if you are trying to practice on your own, you'll be able to reference the answer. So the one highlighted green is the answer to all the practice that we did in class. So thank you for calling my attention to that. So if you go to the if statement, so we have been given a color code and we have been given a performance range. So what they are trying to tell us is we should use conditional formatting on the performance. If your performance is between the 0 to 49.9, less than 50%, it should be highlighted red. Same thing goes to 50% to less than 70, should be highlighted this other pale red, then yellow, the light green, then the deep green. So we want to use conditional formatting to format our performance. So here you already know, as soon as I'm saying red, I know who I'm not performing with here. Anytime I see the pale green or the light green, I know here I'm moving close to my 100%. So that's what we want to try to use the conditional formatting to do. So how do we go about this? If you go to your conditional formatting and you click on new rows, you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options. We have format only cells that contain, format only top or bottom rank values, format only values that are above or below, format only unique or duplicate values. or you use a formula to determine which cells to format. In this case, we want to use format cells that contains. That's what we want to use. So for any cells that contains what we've specified, then it should be formatted. So here now, I'm saying let's highlight this. Let me try to duplicate. Let's view this so that we can see it side by side. Okay. So let's move this to the left. And let's move this to the right. So I hope we can see my two screens. Can you see the two screens, please?
Yes, sir.
Can you see? Okay. So here, I'm saying I've highlighted my performance. And then I'm coming here to say I want to use conditional formatting. Then I create a new rule. So on the rule, I'm saying format cells that contain. And in this case, I know I have many values that are my criteria. So then I'm saying I want you to specify values less than, do we have less than here? Yes, less than what? Anything less than 50%. This should be formatted with a red color. Then I OK this. If I OK this, you'll notice that it has automatically highlighted the ones that are less than 50%. But I still have more that I want to do. I can go back to say I want to manage my rules. So I only have one conditional formatting that I've done here. I have multiple ones. All I need to do is just try to duplicate this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then I can decide to edit others. So for this second one, I want to edit the rule to say if you're between here, I'm using between. So here, if you are between words, you are between 50%, 50%, and 69.9999. Yeah, put my point. 69.99%. So this should be highlighted this. Then I OK this. So I've done for the second one. Then for the third one, which is, let me try to edit this also. Then the third one will be from 70 to 85.99. So you two, I want you to be between from 70%.
Please, sorry, how did you duplicate the rules?
Okay. Let me finish this. 70 to 55.99. 5.99%. Okay. So when you're here, anyone you selected, you can see duplicate rule. One of the icons, you have new rule, edit rule, delete rule, then duplicate. Have you seen it?
Oh, maybe the old version as well is not having duplicates, it's just having new edit and delete. The
Okay.
old version doesn't have it.
So here I'll edit my rule. If it is between 70 to 85.9, it says we should give it a yellow. So I'm giving this a yellow color. Then for the last one, which is 86 to 100%, I'm editing this to say between 86%, 86% to what? 100%. And we should give it what? We should give it a light green. Okay. Then so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need one more. So we can duplicate this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's edit this. Then the last one is if it is greater than 100%. So this is it is greater than 100%. That's when we should have the deep green. So is it complete? Let me move this down. Let me arrange this so that how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I have, let me delete this. Delete. Aha. So we have you. Good. Then the next one is what? The yellow. Then followed by this. Okay. So we have all our rules completed. Then what we need to do is to apply. Then click on our OK. So if you look at this now, our cells have been formatted based on the conditions that we were given. So let's say this person did well, then our conditional formatting is working fine. Let's say this person did this, okay. So let's say this person did 12. Okay, good. So our conditional formatting is working. So do we have any question? Any question?
The only issue is that our own Excel cannot duplicate.
Okay. Even if your Excel can't duplicate, let's come here. Conditional formatting. Do you have manage rules? Do you have manage rule? Then you should have new rule.
Yes.
Then you can use your new rule.
Okay.
So when you click on new rule, format cells that contain, then you specify the rule.
Okay.
So do we have any question? Any question?
So this is what was used in our collection dashboard.
Okay. So it's always used so that it will be easy for you to catch your attention. You can automatically, so looking at this, in the before we did the conditional formatting, someone looking at this would find it difficult to locate Deborah lookup that has 40%, because you have large numbers, you have many numbers. But you looking at this, it is easy for me to say, oh, Fatayola Iwola is performing well. Then Deborah Luke is not performing. So you can now start asking questions. Oh, Fatai, what exactly did you do spectacular? Deborah, why are you not performing? What is your challenge? So it is nice to always use your conditional formatting so that it will be easy for you to. Sometimes you can also use your spark lines. So let's say I have 80, I have 20, I have 100, I have 150, and I want to use my spark lines also. So you'd have large numbers. Let's Excel give us some numbers instead of us stressing ourselves. So give us some numbers between 20 to 200. So give us some random numbers. Fantastic. And I want to use my spark lines here. So I can decide to go to, so I have my numbers, and I go to my data. Under my data, under insert rather, under insert, you can see spark lines. I'll say, oh, I want you to insert. So he's asking me for where. I've selected this range now. I've selected this range, then I OK it. What this is telling us is that if you look at our numbers that we have, look at 106, we have 8 performing, then at a point it drops down to 29, then it's moved up again to 192, then 107. So these are the things you can easily include in your report so that it will reduce the questions that will be asked. So the report you are sending out already answers some question. So you can also decide to say you want to use, let's go to our inserts. We want to use your win and loss, or you want to use your data bar. So can you see it? So these are just a visual representation of the data that we have. Do we have any question? Any question? Do we have any question, Madam
So
Ru?
this data bar that you use, the last one that you used now.
Yes,
Looking at
ma'am.
the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th line, where we have 134 and all of that.
Yes.
I can't differentiate using the data bar.
Thank you.
What does it speak to?
So if you use some of these, what's it called? Some of these spark lines, you won't be able to differentiate closely. That's why it's always advisable you use the spark line. Where is that guy? It's at, then you use the line one, because the line one would make it easy for you to locate. So let's try to use the column. Let's see if we would see. So let's use this. So you can, okay. So the column would still try to do justice a bit. But I would advise you should always use the line one.
The line one is more.
Yes, the
Right.
line one would always give you a quick overview. So do we have any other question before we move to the sum products? Okay. So for the sum product, so sum product is another function in Excel that is actually powerful that people often don't use because we have the SUMIFS, the COUNTIFS, the AVERAGEIFS. But don't be surprised that the sum product can also do what the SUMIFS, the COUNTIFS can do. But we'll be using the quick ones that will make us understand. So now, just as the name implies, help me sum the product of something. So if you're selling something, let's say you have a unit price, so you have a unit price and you have quantity. So for the quantity, I have say give me okay. Now I have a unit price of 500, 650, 420. I have 780 and I have 900. So how do I know the amount? So what we will do is what? We'll say, oh, equals this multiplied by this, J. Then we do this across board before we'll be able to know the total price of the portion. So what we've done here, that we did the multiplication first, then we now add. That is what the sum product will do for us. And for sum products, the syntax for sum products is it only requests for an array. That's the syntax for sum products. You have to select an array. You can also call it a range. So here now, we say we want to use sum product to know the total kilowatts that the customer has built. So we want to say, oh, the customer that is meant to be built 970 units per unit, and this customer is built 22 months. So what's the total kilowatt that this customer will be built? What are we going to use? If we actually want to know the total units that we have to build this customer.
That would be equal to 970 times 22.
Oh, equals this multiplied by this.
Yeah.
So we know this is what we are billing the customers. Then we come here to say we want to add this for us to know the total bill. So instead of us going through this stress, we can just use our sum product. So sum product will request for array 1. So all I need to select the first array, comma, then select the second array, then enter. That's all. That's how sum product works. Sum product is now more powerful in such a way that you can even use it to solve the likes of the AND, likes of the OR. Instead of we using the SUMIFS or the COUNTIFS, we can also try to use sum product to do that. So now we have been given a scenario that we want to know for only meter by pass. We want to know the month and we want to know the total kilowatts build for what's it called? For a meter by pass. How do we go about that? So I want to use SUMPRODUCT to do this. I can say, oh, equals SUMPRODUCT was my array. Let me try to put this in the brackets. Where my inspection conclusion is equals to meter by pass. That's the first thing. And we want to know the months. And let me put this. Where's my months and my months? That's all. So this has given us the total months for the ones that are bypassed. I hope we get that. Only for meter bypass, what's the total months? So if we come here and filter to our meter bypass, and we do this, we should have 154. So this is 154. So we have just used that to sum the months for meter bypass. So what if we want to know the total kilowatts build for meter bypass? Without we saying we want to use equal sum if this times this, then we come and do some range for our total kilowatts build. Though we want to use our SUMPRODUCT to do that. So I can say equal SUMPRODUCT. Then I say I want to see where my inspection conclusion is equals to meter bypass. I close that. And I want to know the total kilowatts and units and my modes. So let me put this in brackets so that then enter. So here now we know the total kilowatts build for our meter bypass is 123,000. Please, do we understand how this SUMPRODUCT works?
Isabel, please, if you don't add the modes, in this one that you did now, won't it be able to? Because what we're actually looking for is the number of KWH, which is unit.
Yes.
So I saw that you also added the modes. If you don't add the modes, won't you be able to get the KWH
Let
you're
me
looking for?
delete this so that this won't be confusing us. So ideally, if you want to know the total kilowatt build, you know you will do this multiply by this. That's your unit multiplied by months.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So now, if you come here to say you are removing your months,
I got it now. So it will give us for just a month then.
it will only give us, thank you. So now this is for the and. Now, what if we want to use for the or? So quick one, in Excel, you say we have and, we have or. We can also use our operators also to replace the and the or. And the operator that I use to replace the and is the multiplication, and the one for the or is the plus. If you look at the truth table that let's see if we still have the truth table somewhere here. Skip. Let's see if we still have the truth table somewhere here. I think I saw the truth table somewhere. Okay, good. So for the AND, is multiplication. So if you do your 0 times 0, 0, 1 times 0, 0 times 0, 0, 1 times 1, 1. That's why you always see that for AND is multiplication. But for OR, it's plus. 1, 0 plus 0, 0, 1 plus 1, 1, 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 1. So for your OR, it's plus. So let's use it somewhere here. Where did we use our AND? Okay, good. So we have it somewhere here. So equals is this, let's put it here in brackets. Is this greater than 30,000? 30, 1, 2, 3, and multiplied by, is this less than 42,000? 42, 1, 2, 3. Then reach our enter. You can see that we have 1. So our 1 is our true, then our 0 is our false. So ideally, if we use equals and, we use equals and is.
I lost too.
Okay. So if you look at what we used in our sum products here, you can see that we are using multiplication instead of the normal comma that we are to use. You know, most of the time, when you use your formula, either your VLOOKUP, either your sum, when you are through with one syntax, if you want to move to the next syntax, you hit your comma.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
But for some product allows you to use some wildcards, some characters in its formula, which is a multiplication sign and a plus sign. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Now, if you are using the multiplication sign, it means you want to perform an hand operator and hand function. If you want to use OR, that's the OR, you use your plus. So I'm now explaining how you can use your AND and OR without using the AND function itself. So we want to use the AND function using the multiplication sign. Using the multiplication sign. The multiplication sign is used for the AND also. So I'm saying equals, is this energy recovered, is it greater than 30,000? And I put my asterisk. And is this our energy recovered? Is it less than 42,000? And I close this. And I hit enter. You can see it is giving me what? 1 and zeros. My 1 means true. And my 0 means false. Unlike if we use the normal AND, we use the AND. If I say equals and, is this value that I have here, is it greater than 30,000, comma, is this same value, is it less than 42,000? Then I hit enter. Now see, this one is giving us true and false. Do we understand the difference now?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So instead of us using this and, what we use is just the multiplication. So now we want to use for the or, which is a plus. So now here, what we are told to say is, oh, our condition is either Abulegba or Akunwojo, and the special conclusion is bypass. So we want you to count the inspection conclusion for us. Either it is Abulegba or Akunwojo. So then I can say equals some product. So I know I have two conditions. Then let me put this in parentheses. So the first one is if my business unit, do I have business unit here? If my business unit is equals to Abulegba, that's the first one. Or, which is plus, or my business units is equals to Akunwojo. I close that. So that's for the or what's it called? That's for the or option. And we are told to know the count of this. So we are counting for what? Where my inspection conclusion is equals to meter bypass. Please always remember to put these in the parentheses so that we won't have error. So where my business unit is equals to I10 Abulegba, or my business unit is equals to I12, and my inspection conclusion is equals to bypass, then we can close our parentheses. Yes. So we have 3. So is this correct or is this wrong? So please check the data that you have. How many bypass do we have for either Abulegba or Akunwojo? We have Abulegba or Akunwojo. And we want to see the meter bypass.
It's 3.
So this is 3. So our formula is working. So now let's see someone to do the next one for us, to sum the units for us. Either Abulegba or Akunwojo, that is meter bypass. So we want you to sum the units that was built for the meter bypass, either for Abulegba or Akunwojo. Can someone just quickly do that for us now? So do we have an answer? is equals to labor or my business units is equals to origin. And my special conclusion is equals to data bypass and I want to know the total units. So do we have an answer? Is this correct? So class, do we have an answer? Is this correct? So I would want us to use the total kilowatts build for our classwork. So I need a response for the total kilowatt build.
Sorry, I didn't get that for mine.
So what did you get?
800 and something.
For the sum of units for meter bypass for either Blackbar or Joy. So what did we get?
1,829.
Okay. Blackbar upon Joy meter bypass. Some of the units. So for Blackbar or upon Joy, that is for meter. That's for meter bypass. So what's the total units? So you can see that this is 1829.1 and good. So we are correct.
This can you show me the formula?
So where are you getting it wrong?
Let me see. I need to know where I'm missing it out.
So your first is where your BU is equals to Abelegba or your BU equals to Akonwojo.
Yeah.
And your inspection conclusion equals meter bypass and your units.
Yes. I don't know why I'm still having this. Let me send you what I have. Probably so you can actually show me where. I don't know if I can still use the COUNTIFS.
Okay, you know what I'll do? Let me go over it again.
I still can't use the chat. I don't know why I can't use the chat.
I got error.
Okay.
And they arrange it well.
So just let's take it step by step. So let me delete this and go over it again. So equals some products. Because I know I want to perform all and I want to put them in parentheses. That's why I open two parentheses here. So the first one is where my business units, I've highlighted my business units equals Abulegba. I've closed that parentheses. That's one. Or I open another parenthesis where my business units is equals to Akunwojo. And I close that parenthesis. So I have a parenthesis for the first BU. I have a parenthesis for the second BU. So the two together, I'm putting the two in a parenthesis. That's why I'm putting another parenthesis here. Do you get it up to this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Now, and I've used my asterisk, and I want to do for the inspection conclusion. I open a parenthesis for that also. I'm saying where my inspection conclusion is equals to meter by pass. I close the parenthesis for that one. Are we on the same page here?
Yeah.
Then, and I want to know for my units. Then I close the parenthesis. And that's all. So I want us to do for the total kilowatt build. So let's do that. By level 30, we'll go for 10 minutes break. For the command to. So do we have an answer for the total kilowatt build for Abulegba or Akunwojo for meter by pass? So let me just explain what you want to do here in the manual way that we understand. So for the meter by pass, that is for Abulegba or Akunwojo. We want to know this total because this multiplied by this. We want to have this 28,525. Either Abulegba or Akunwojo, meter by pass, the total kilowatt build. That's what you want to do here. So we need to have this 28,525.61 your value. So do we have an answer?
I got 28,525.61.
Correct. So it's the same thing that you have here that you would do. The only thing you need to do is just
maybe next 30 minutes.
include. The only thing you need to do here is just include the mods. Include the mods. That's all. So do we understand this? So do we understand this? Any question on this before we move to the next? Any question? Okay. So we don't have any question. So thank you very much. So now next thing we'll be trying to look at is pivot table and we designing a dashboard. So how are we going to use a pivot table? So if you look at our business request, the data that we're given. We're given a business request that, oh, we have a data, we want you to help us analyze this data. And we want you to put this on a dashboard so that it will be easy for us to know how we are performing on our energy build and the inflation trends. So the business has given you this. I want the monthly analysis. I want the revenue built by inflation type. Different kind of analysis that you have been told to do. And we have been given the data. So if you look at this data that we have our dates, the invoice dates, to the ID, to the officers. We have it down to supervisors. Have it straight down to the reconnection, amount, invoice, penalty. We have the LOR invoice. We have units in kilowatts. We have the number of months, LOR energy build, admin charges, total amount invoice, then outstanding. Okay. So now we have been told that, okay, we want you to give us a breakdown of our revenue on a monthly basis. So looking at this, we just have a large data set. How are we going to get insight from this data? What are the things I need to do? That's when you start saying, oh, do I need to use my pivot table? Do I need to use my formulas, the likes of the SUMIFS, AVERAGEIFS, so that you can quickly summarize the data sets that you have? Now, the next thing is they are still telling us that we should put this on a dashboard. So now they are telling us to put this on a dashboard. What kind of charts am I going to use to represent what? What are the formatting I need to do on my chart that will make this easily to understand? So we'll need to understand the kind of charts we are to use, where to use them, and how to format them. So first, we need to know that when we are given a data and we want to use pivot table to easily summarize our data, we need to ensure that the data that we are given, it does not have empty headers. You see these headers that we have? We shouldn't have an empty header. That's one. Two, we should not have a marked cells. We should not have a cell that is marked along the line. And three, we should ensure that we do not have any empty cells along the line, most especially when you are working with dates. When you are working with dates, ensure that your dates are formatted as a date so that your pivot table would be able to group your dates so that it will be easy for you to say, oh, I want to have analysis on my data based on quarter, year, or month. Ensure that you don't have empty cells when you're working with your dates. And the last one is ensure that your data is in a table format, is in an Excel recognized table format. So now what we'll start to do here is we'll need to format this as a table, our data first. That's the first thing we need to do. We format this as a table. How do we format as a table? The shortcut is a Ctrl+T. If you don't want to use the shortcut, you can use format as a table option, or you go to your insert, the insert table, any of the three. So here we use the Ctrl+T. Then this is giving us an option. Does your table have header? My table has headers. Then I'll hit OK. So this is an Excel recognized table. Let's try to use another format. Okay. So this is an Excel recognized table. And let's try to name our table. So under our table design, I'm naming this table our business data. Our business data. So this is, so anytime we are running our pivot table on this table, it would recognize this as a business data. We have named it as a business data. So I hope we are following. I hope I'm not too fast.
Yes.
Okay. So now we've converted our data to a table. What's the next thing we want to do? We want to insert our pivot table based on the business requests. So the business request is we need to have a breakdown of our total revenue billed across each month. So I want to know how much I'm billing on a monthly basis. So it comes to me inserting a pivot table. How do we insert pivot table? You go to your insert tab, then you see your pivot table. Then from table or range. Now you have a pane that will pop up. The pane is telling me table or range because I have named my table as business data. So it could recognize that, oh, this is a table and the name of the table is business data. So where do I want to put my pivot table? Is it on a new worksheet or on an existing worksheet? In this case, I want to put it on a new worksheet. Then I hit my OK. Now you would have a pane popping up on the right-hand side of a pivot table. This is how it would show on some of us pivot table. This is how it will show. So you'd have your headers listed and you have different fields. So for the fields, you have your filter, you have your columns, the values, and the rows. So all you just need to do is just do your pick. You pick a header, then you drop it in any of the fields. That's what you have to do when using your pivot table. Now, it now depends on how you want to view your data. If you want to view your data in column, let's say you want to view your data in this form, you want to view your data in this form, then all you need to do is drop your header on the column. If you want to view your data in the horizontal way, then you need to drop it on your rows. If you want to view your data in this form, you need to drop it on your rows. So when you want to view your data in the vertical way, you drop it on your columns. When you want to view it in the horizontal way, you drop it on your rows. So I will stop for now. So let's go for a 10 minutes break. Then we'll come back and continue.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Abdulgani, please can you confirm that you can hear me? Mr. Abdulgani. Mr. Abdulaziz.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Are we back? Hello, class. Hello, everyone. Are we back?
Yeah, we are with you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So where did we stop? We stopped at okay, this is where we stopped. So I said on how you are, if you want your data to, if you want to view your data. So if you want to view your data horizontally, you drag your fields, your headers, you drop it on the row fields. And if you want them to show vertically, then you should drop them on columns. So now if we look at the request that we have, I've been told that we need a breakdown of our total revenue across each month. So if you look at our data, do we have total revenue? Total, okay, we have total amounts invoiced. So we want to see it, do we have invoiced it? Okay. We want to see these by the month. So we can come here to say, I want to see these on my rows, and I want to see the total amount invoice on my values. If you look at what happened here, you'll notice that we now have months of invoice dates, quarter of invoice dates, and years of invoice dates. So pivot table is smart to know that, oh, I have a date. It is a recognized date. I have the invoice date. So it's grouping it for us to say, oh, I have a date here. So here, I don't want the year. I only want the months. I'm just, hold on a bit. I'm so sorry for that. So if you look at this, our pivot table was smart enough to recognize that, oh, we have a date here. So it grouped these by month, by quarter, and by years for us. And the business request says
Sorry.
we want to. Okay,
Sorry for interrupting.
I'm
I
with
want
you.
to get that part. Are you saying from the file itself, there were no months, quarters, and years? That is the what are we using now? That just automatically provided that for us based on the fact that there are dates on the sheet. Is it that no column that speaks for month, quarter, and year?
No, we don't have any. So if you look at our data and if you look at the invoice dates, you can see that we only have January, February, March down to. So let me quickly explain how dates works. So I have, let's say equals today. Equals this plus 1. Yeah. So these are some dates. If it is recognized as a date, because date also is a number. Let me copy this and paste it here. So this is a number equivalent of a date. The date is also a number. But when you format it as a date, Excel would know that this is a date. How would it be easy for you to know? When you filter this, when you filter it, it will group it for you. You can see it's just telling me June. June 16 down to June 30. You'll notice that there are some data that you'll be working on, it will group it for you. Then you have some that it won't group it for you. The one that is not grouping for you, it's actually not a date. Down, sometimes some of us will just do 2025/3/31, and it won't recognize it. So when you actually format your dates as a proper date, when you filter it, it will definitely group it for you, telling you that, oh, this is a date. If you now use it in a pivot table, so I have Madam Ruth. So in your scores, you scored 60 to 100. So these are your scores. Now I want to insert a pivot table using this. I go to my inserts, then I say pivot table. But in this case, I want you to be on an existing sheet. Then I OK this. Now you can see that my date, as soon as I drop my date on my rows, you can see that it's listing it for me. Now, if I have more, or I want it to group it for me, when you right click, then you see group. Then you can now group it by quarters, by years. So you see this grouping that we are doing here, that was what it automatically did for us here. That's why you are having these months, quarter, and years. I hope we get that.
Yeah.
So now,
thank you.
You're welcome. So the business request says we should have a breakdown of our revenue across each month. So now we've done, let's delete this. We don't want to make this. So we've done this by don't need this, we need this. So that's the first thing that we're told to do. That, oh, this is our revenue build. That's the first thing. And this is our months. Now, the next one is saying that, can we have our revenue by infraction type? The revenue generated in relation to different types of infraction. Okay. So if you go to our data, we know we have infraction type, which is here on the inspection conclusion. You have different type of infraction. So what revenue are we losing based on this type of infractions? Then we can come back to our pivot table. You can decide to say, oh, you want to come here, insert the pivot table. Then you want to do it on an existing sheet. You want to do this on an existing sheet. Then you come to your sheet 1 and put it to the location you want. Or you copy an existing pivot table and you can paste that. So either of the two. So now, this one is telling us that we want to see the revenue build across each of the infractions. So here we want to see our infractions. So we can drop our infractions in our row. And now we are seeing our infraction. Now let's sort these from the highest to the lowest. So you right click on the numbers, then you can do from largest to smallest. So what this is actually telling us is that the revenue we are losing, let's use, the revenue we are losing is more on the meter by pass and followed by the free riders. So now we are trying to make sense from our data. So instead of the business having these large data sets, you coming in based on their request, you're already giving them something to work on. So we have the second one. Then the third one now is what's the third request? We have infraction frequency, count of all record infraction over a reporting period. Okay. So want to know the count of all our infractions.
No, so we are number 3. Number 3. Revenue by business unit.
Oh, revenue by business units. So the revenue by business unit, we want to know the revenue across each business unit. So where's our business units? We have our business units here. You can drop it on our rows and want to see the revenue. Let's see this our comparative analysis of the revenue by each BUs. Okay. So if you look at our data, you can see that we have LOR invoiced. This is one. We have penalty. This is another invoice. And we have the admin charges. So we have 3. So this will be easy for us to compare. So by business units, we can then drop this in our values. So we have the penalty. We can drop it in our values. So we have LOR amount invoiced. Then we have this for each business unit. So I can call this penalty, I can call this LOR, I can call this connection fee. So let's format
So is it only
this.
these two that's revenue for in that Excel sheet?
What do you say?
What about KWH?
So let's look at our business request. It says revenue by business units. So you can also perform an analysis based on the kilowatt bill also. So it depends on the business request. So when you are trying to carry out analysis, there are some things we actually need to look out for. So first is you ask, you prepare, you process, you analyze, you share, then you act. So you see these 6 steps. So when you are trying to carry out analysis, maybe you as a data analyst or as a business analyst, first you need to understand your problem. You ask, okay, what do you want? What exactly is the issue? But because you're already in the system, sometimes you already know the likely problem that the business is having. That's if you are in the system. But let's say you are going to a new sector. Let's say you are going to the banking sector. You need to ask, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? Oh, so you ask first. So now let's say you are the one that asked that, what exactly is your problem? And you have been given this. And now the next is for you to now prepare and process your data. So you see this data that you have now, just always have it at the back of your mind that you won't always have a structured data. You won't always have a clean data. You will be the one that you will clean up your data. So if peradventure you now have a structured or a clean data, fine. But have it at the back of your mind that the data you'll be working with is a dirty data. So you will be the one to prepare it and to process it to make it structured. You remove duplicates. You fill the empty cells. You ensure that your data is consistent. You will be the one to do all those cleanings. So when you are through with that is when you can now analyze. So it is the analysis process that you have now. You are trying to analyze your data. So, oh, this is the large data that we have, or let's now have a breakdown. So it is easy for the business to make decision here, to start asking question. Why do we have low loss of revenue in Ikorodu? So this is because of the analysis you've done for the business. I hope you get that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now,
But I was thinking that based on the question that they were talking about revenue, so I was thinking
yes.
that cost of KWH consumed by customer should be added as part of the revenue.
So, you know, when we say KWH, that is energy.
Yeah.
But when we say revenue, you know, that one is money. Has the monetary implication.
Okay, that means there is no column there where we have an amount paid by the customer for the KWH.
So we have, look at it here. You have units, you have months, I have a LOR build. So if the business request is now related to this kilowatt, they are saying, oh, what is the kilowatt recovered by each business unit? Now you can decide to say, okay, you want to see kilowatts recovered by each business unit. So instead of you having this, you can now say, oh, kilowatts. So if our request is based on the kilowatts, then we'll give them the kilowatts value. Another person might even decide, oh, we want to have a breakdown of our LOR build by band, or let's see the inspection conclusion by each business unit. So look at what we have here. If it is, let's even see the inspection conclusion by each of these business units. You can as well break it down. You carry your inspection conclusion, then you drop it under the rows. So now this is not even making it interesting. That, oh, I know that it is 6 million kilowatts that is lost, that is recovered in Abulegba, but this is a breakdown by the inspection conclusion. Let's try to sort this from largest to lowest. So now you can see that across all the business units, you can see that you have meter bypass as the highest form of infraction. But if you look at Abulegba, the second infraction is meter bypass from installation. While look at Akunwojo is free rider. Look at Ikeja is free rider. So these will now call their attention to that. Oh, why do we have more free riders in Oshodi, Ikorodu, and Ikeja? So another person might say, oh, let me even have a breakdown of the energy recovered by business units, by inspection conclusion, and by the band. So I want to have a cross-tabulated report. You can decide to say, oh, you want to see it by band, then you take your band and drop it on your columns. So now you have a report. So you sending this out, they already know, oh, for band A, this is what I'm having. You have used the conditional formatting that we've just done now. You can decide to say, oh, I want to format this using conditional formatting so that before someone would ask me any question, let the person be able to see one or two things. So here now, you can see this is now becoming interesting. I know, oh, I have, let's even use it the other way around. Let's, so that anywhere it's low, we use this. Aha. So here now you can see that for our band D, we're having low recovery. For the ones that we have yellows, you know, oh, I'm having more losses. So look at Abulegba. More of their yellow is on band A and band C. So it will be easy for the business to make decision. So look at the likes of Ikorodu. This one is spread across. They have more on their band C. So with this, you have actually made a report based on kilowatts. So this is based on kilowatts. And you broke it down by business units, by inspection conclusion, and by the band. So now let's go to our business request. So business request says revenue by business units. So let's revenue by business units. So we have our revenue by business units. Okay, good. And the next request is saying refraction frequency, counts of refraction. So here, let's copy one pivot table. So I'm copying this pivot table I'm pasting it here to know the count of infractions that I have. So I have my inspection conclusion, and I'm dropping my inspection conclusion on my values. This will automatically count my inspection conclusion for me. However, if you look at our data, you can see that we're having 2 negative reading. So which means our data is not consistent. So before we get to this point, we should have cleaned up our data. So we are meant to have only 1 negative reading. We're not meant to have, so let's clean up that now. So I have the negative reading. And I want you to be consistent across. Why is this man hanging? So if we come here to refresh our data, should have only 1 negative reading. Okay, good. So we now have the count of our inspection conclusion. Let's largest to smallest. Good. So what other business requests do we have? Revenue breakdown summary, a detailed indication of total revenue across dimensions such as region, customer type, or business units. So I think that's what we did here. Okay. Again, identification of most frequently occurring infraction within our network. So we already know that here we have data bypass as the most. Okay. And what are the other business requests? Invoice amounts by infraction. Okay. Do we have that? Revenue bid by infraction. This is just duplicates. What other requests do we have again? Revenue by tariff band. Revenue by tariff band. We have revenue by tariff band. Revenue by tariff. Let's copy this and let's paste it here. So we want our revenue by tariff. Band. Where's our band? I want to see the revenue. Where's the total revenue? So we have more. So we have more revenue loss on the band A. Okay. So you can even decide that you want to see the percentage contribution also. It's not more that it has to be. So if you want to see the percentage contribution, all you just need to do here is you click on your value field settings. Then I can decide to say show values as percentage of my ground total. So in this case, I'm saying my percentage contribution. So I know that revenue. So please, do we understand this before we move to the next one, please? Any question? Any question? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So any question, please? Do we have any question?
No.
Okay. I assume we all understand this. So now, the next is we say we want to put this, we want to use this to design a dashboard. And before we say we want to design a dashboard, that's when we'll start to look at different kind of charts before we say we want to start designing the dashboard. So in Excel, we have various charts in Excel. So when you go to your insert and you see recommended charts under your insert, there are different kind of charts that you have. You have the likes of the column charts, the line charts, you have the pie, the radar chart. So all these, they have where they are suitable. However, the ones you will be using most often, you'll be using your bar charts, your column charts, your pie, and the line charts. So when do you need to use your line charts? When you want to show trends for a period of time to say, oh, for year 2020, 2021, 2022, this is how we have been making our revenue. Or you want to say from January to February to March, this is how we're making our revenue. Anytime you want to use your line charts. When you want to use your column charts and your bar charts, that's when you want to compare values, maybe across different categories. So let's say you have billing efficiency, you have collection efficiency, they are both in percentages. So you want to compare them. How are they performing? Or you want to check across different business units. Which business unit is performing well? Then you can use your bar chart and the column chart. The only difference between bar and the column chart is one is horizontal and the other one is vertical. The horizontal one gives the more option of seeing more bars compared to the column charts where you still need to adjust one or two things. And for the pie charts, the pie chart also, when you want to show a percentage of a whole. So I have I've categorized my inspection conclusion into metered and non-metered. Or I've categorized my energy recovered based on what can be easy Based on, let's use this revenue that we have. Our revenue based on penalty, loss of revenue, and reconnection fee. So we know that's our total revenue. So which one has let's do something here. Total so I want to see my revenue. My total revenue. So I want to see this on a pie chart. Then I'm saying I want to see this on a pie chart. Good. So you can see that this is telling me that I have my band A. Out of the 100%, my band A covers most of the revenue that I have. So you use pie chart to show a percentage or a part of a whole category. That's when you use your pie charts. Your pie charts, your donut charts, they are similar. That's what they do. They show a percentage of a whole. And sometimes you would want to use your scatter plots, or you want to use your bubble charts. Those ones you want to use it to check correlation between two variables. You want to check the trend analysis of two, three, 4, 5 variables. You would see a scatter plot. You would always see them. They are scattered around the chart. How you want to see, oh, what is happening here? What is happening here? Most of the time, they will always use it in
Can
data.
you show us an example of the scattered plot?
Okay. So we come here. Let's see the charts. Then we have, this is a scatter. So we can't use this type of data to show you scatter plots, but this is a scatter. This is feature. So when you want to compare at least two sets of values or pairs of data, so this is a scatter plot. So you also have combo charts also. So combo chart is like a combination chart. But when you have 3 or more, or let's say 4 more categories that you want to compare. So let's say we have business units. Where's our business unit? We have our business units. We have our business units like this. And we have our billing efficiency. We have our collection efficiency. And we have ATC and C. All these, they are all in percentage. They're all in percentage. So we know we have 90, 95. We have 100, 92, 65, 74. I'll have 43. So here we have 80, we have 90, we have 100, we have 94, we have 65%, and we have an ETC and C of something like this. And we want to use a combo chart to represent what we have here. So I've highlighted this, and I go to my inserts. Then I have all charts. then I say I want to use my combo charts. So if you look at this, you can see that I have, let me okay this. I have so I have my, I can compare my billing efficiency to my collection efficiency in combination with my etc and C. So this is how a combo chart looks like. Is a combination chart when you are comparing 2, 3, or 4 categories. This is how you use the combination, a combo chart. So when you've inserted any chart, either your bar chart, your column chart, your pie chart, there are some parameters that you need to take note of. So we have a chart title. That's the title of your chart. We have the grid lines. So you can see that we have some lines here within our charts. These are the grid lines. We have our bars and we have our legends. So this is the color BE, the color C is telling us this is the legend. And how can you manipulate this? I can decide that I don't want to see my axis, my horizontal axis or my vertical axis. So I've removed this. Then the next one is I can say I want to see my data labels. What do I mean by data labels? So if you look at these set of numbers that we have, if we want them to show on our charts, we can enable them on our data labels. So now that I have this shown on my data labels, do I still need my vertical axis? No, since my vertical axis and the data label will be showing the same thing. So I can just decide to say, oh, I don't need my y-axis. I can decide to say I don't need my grid lines. So in some cases, you can say, oh, you don't want your chart title. So if you don't want your chart title, this is how it is. If you say, oh, my legend, I don't want it to be at the bottom. I want it to be at the top. Then this will move to the top. So this is how you can format some of your charts. You can decide to say, oh, you don't want the color. You don't want the color for the way your bars are looking at. Just double click on it. Then you can just perform some formatting. I can say, oh, I want a solid color here. So I want you to give it this kind of color. So you can play around with your charts. The most important part of it is just try to know the best charts to use in the type of data that you want to present. So now we'll try to build a dashboard based on the business data that we've been given. So I'll try to prepare an empty sheet now so that we can use it to prepare our dashboard. So first is what I want to do. I don't want to see my formula bar. So I can go to my view to say, I don't want to see the formula bar. I can say I don't want to see the grid lines. Let me reduce my zoom to 80. Okay. Now, the next is how do I insert charts from what I've been given? So I have my amount and the revenue build. Then I can say I want to insert a line chart. When you're here, you can go to your pivot table analyze also and insert a pivot chart. So here I want to use a line chart. Yeah. Okay. Then I'm using a line chart here. I want to ensure that my chart is looking nicely. I want to remove all the unnecessary buttons on the charts.
Please, sorry, you clicked on the particular table you want to do the line chart for, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So this is my line chart. I'm cutting this, then I'm pasting it where I want to paste my dashboard, where I want to design my dashboard. So I have my chart title. This is what revenue build by month. So I have this. I don't need the legend. I don't need this legend. So that one should stay out. Do I even need the grid lines? I don't need the grid lines. So that's for that. Let's go back again to our, let's name our sheet as dashboard. Where do we have our summary? So let's name this as our report. So we've designed one for this. So let's do another one for the revenue build by the fraction type. Revenue build, so pivot charts. Revenue build by, let's use this. Okay, I don't need all these unnecessary button. What's that thing again? Don't need the grid lines. Don't even need a legend. This is just one thing. Then let me cut this. I'm gonna paste it where I want to have my dashboard. Okay. So I have another chart here. Count of inspection conclusion. Let's do this as a pivot chart. Let's use this system around. Okay, I don't need the legend. I don't need the grid lines. I don't even need the vertical axis. If I want to see my data labels. Okay. I don't want to see all these unnecessary buttons. Then I can cut this and paste it on my dashboard page. So I have another thing here. So I have meter tampered. I have under billing. So I can do top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can do top 8 here. Let's do top 8.
So please, where did you click now? Where did you start from this top page that you want to do?
So
yeah, where do you click now?
So under value filters, I'm within my pivot table. I click on this filter button, then select your value filters, then you see top 10. Then under the top 10, you can do top 8. If it is bottom that you want to see also, you can do your bottom 8. So here I'm saying I'm doing my top 8. So if you come to your dashboard, this has responded to that also. So I have my top 8. So this is 1, 2, 3. So we have this also pivot analyze, pivot charts. Then this, let's try to use this. Okay, good. So we have We don't need all these field buttons. They are making our chart look clumsy somehow. I want to see my legend underneath. Where's my legend? So put my legend at the bottom. So I want you to be on the dashboard page. So now, as it stands now, we are trying to build a dashboard that will be easy for us to use. So we need our chart title. Where's the title?
So please, can you explain this kind of chart?
So
Because I'm seeing
it's also a bar chart. Let's go back. So this is people to analyze, then want to insert charts. So under your column chart, there are different ones. You have the start column, you have a 100% start column. You also have 3D options also. So the difference is for the clustered one, since we are having 3 variables here, we're having penalty, LOR, and reconnection fee. They are standing alone. But in the case where I want everything to be as one, but as you are as one, I want to see the percentage of each of the categories in the one bar that we have, which is 100%. So you can either use this or use this. So what we did is we use this. So if you look at this, we're having 3 categories here. So why we are saying more of the orange is because the values that we have for the LOR is more than the values that we have for the reconnection fee. Is more than the values that we have for the penalty. So let's say our penalty is also within the range of, let's say, 50% of the loss of revenue, then we'll be able to view it properly. That's what we decided to use for this.
So from this now is the reconnection fee here, because I'm only seeing 2 visible colors. Okay,
the reconnection fee is there too. So if you look at, let's go back to our report. If you look at our reconnection fee compared to the penalty and LOR, you will see that it is very minute. 1 million compared to 35 million, compared to 343 million. So you are going to see more of the 343 than the 35 before you'll be able to see the 1 million.
Okay.
So we've done for this, we've done, how many charts do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Maximum of 5. Let's do 5. Let's have another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So can we have revenue by, okay. We already have these. Then let's cut these and paste it somewhere here. So now, when you're trying to design your dashboard, there are some things you need to understand. We need to ensure that our dashboard has a title. That's the first thing. Your dashboard should have something that would make it easy to filter. So in this case, what we'll be using to filter our dashboard is our slicer. We can decide to say, oh, we want to see all our reports based on quarter. We want to see all our reports based on months or based on a special conclusion or anything. So we would include a slicer in our report to make this easy to design, to make it easy to be interactive. So we'll try to use, what should we use here? Let's use our year, add a slicer, I have my year. I have what other thing again can we use? We have our quarter. We can also use this also. We have our what other thing again do we have? We can also even use our business units. Where's our business units? Business units. Okay. So we have our year. So what it means is we can make our reports interactive. So we have our year. We have our quarter. For slicers that don't have values, we don't want to. So hide items with no data. So here we don't have data for quarter. Thank you. Then we can move down to the business units. So we want to give our dashboard a title. Let's merge and center this. Then we can say, let's give this our revenue build dashboard. So I'm giving this let's increase the font please. So let's so these are revenue build dashboard. We have our year, we have our portal. So now we can decide to arrange our charts. Okay. So we have let's move this mark somewhere here. Let me move this one to the description. Okay. So that this one can go down like this. Okay. So we have this. So this is just a simple dashboard that we've designed. Okay. Do we need this? We don't need for this reporting. So let's report the connection for our slicer. Okay. That person should mute, please. Okay, and the last one, let's try to report their connection. Let's see. Okay. So here, don't want to see the x-axis. And we need to see the data labels. So this would be easy. You can also format your data bars also. So let's look if our dashboard is interactive. Okay. So for 2023, let's see, what do we have here? Okay, let's see. These are the calibers. What are they doing it? So I think that's all. You can then decide to say you want to format your text. You want all your text to be bold. I can say I think my text should be bold. What do we have for this? This is my revenue by business units. Revenue by business units. Revenue built by months. What's this? These are accounts of infraction. Accounts of infraction. I want my text to be bold. Good. I can also decide to say, this, my data bar is looking skinny. I want you to be bold a bit. Let's do 80%. Okay. Same thing goes to this. Let's do 80%. What do that do again? Okay. We have our data badge also. The gap width is quite high. So do we have any question? Okay. So now our dashboard is interactive. So we can see the revenue built by month. Let's even see our data labels here. And remove the vertical axis. Good. So this is just a quick, simple dashboard that we've designed. So count of infraction for Ikeja, for Abulegba. This is revenue build for Abulegba. Your total revenue build by infraction. Revenue build by infraction. So this is a simple and a quick dashboard that we've come up with. So class, do we have any question?
Wow, So this is like magic.
Ah,
Thank you so much. It's another, as in, I love this. God bless you.
thank-
So, but doing a dashboard on Excel like this, so how were you able to? Because sometimes if I'm working on Excel like this page will be like endless. How were you able to create your particular page that your work will not exceed this page? Even if you scroll down, you can't scroll back more than this particular page you are seeing now. So when you now do remove grid lines, it will just be as in the way your page is just fitted in whatever you created is not exceeding that. Even if you scroll, you cannot scroll more than this. How are you able to achieve that? Don't know if
okay.
you get what I'm asking.
So first, when you want to design a dashboard, your chart shouldn't be more than 6. That's the max. Because the essence of the dashboard is we should be able to catch up with everything at a glance. So if you already plan that, oh, all the charts I want to put on this dashboard is 6. So first is just try to reduce your zoom. If you say, oh, you don't want to view your tools bar, you can see that as soon as I say I don't want to view my tools bar and I have more space. Or better still, if you feel what you want to do would exceed or you have a larger screen, that one is fine. When you have a larger screen, you can always maneuver. But when you have a limited screen, limit your chart to 4, 5 so that you have more space. You can also say, oh, you want to protect your sheets in such a way that for every other columns, they are protected. You can't do anything on this column. You can protect them, you can password them. But as far as I'm concerned, anytime you want to design the dashboard, know the amount of charts, try to create enough space. If it is 70% zoom page, 80% zoom page that you want to use, and the charts should be in form of that it is occupying the size that you've created for it. So looking at this now, let me see 80, and what was done before was this. Aha. Looking at this, this is a limited size I've created for my own dashboard. Any charts I want to include on this dashboard must not exceed this page. I don't want to create a dashboard where I'll need to scroll to the right to show my audience or scroll to the left to show my audience. No.
Okay.
And I would ensure that any charts I'm presenting, they are bold enough for my audience to see. So the essence of this dashboard is to reduce question that they will ask me. It is to answer their questions before they even ask. So the moment you are now designing this dashboard in such a way that you need to scroll left, scroll up, the dashboard it won't be interactive like that also. No. And also, when you are using your pivot table to say you want to create a dashboard, your pivot table should be on a sheet. You can have as many as pivot table on a sheet, 10, 20, 30. Then where you want to design a dashboard, then let it be another page so that you won't have them contradicting each other. I think we have
Okay. So please, another thing now, this dashboard created in Excel sheets. Like you know that for IA now, during our presentation, we use a PowerPoint for presentation.
yes.
So can this be done on that PowerPoint? Is there a way we can have this on PowerPoint?
So you can copy and paste this in PowerPoint. So the beauty of Microsoft's products is there are ways that they can interact with each other. So one, there is a function in Excel that is the snapshots. When you copy something and you paste it, let me just use an example here. When I copy this, let's use a new sheet, and I paste it. And I use the snapshots, the camera. I've copied this, then I paste it in my anywhere I want to paste it. When I come here and decide to change this to, if you look at the picture on the right, you can see that it has changed.
Yeah.
So when you copy this, everything you have here, you can also copy it. You can go and embed it in your PowerPoint, or you use the camera shots so that any changes you make here, it automatically reflects on your PowerPoint.
Yes, sir. Please, can you do it, please?
Okay.
Let's see. On PowerPoint.
So I have a PowerPoint here. So I have a PowerPoint here. All I need to do is to copy my charts, then come and paste it here. While I'm pasting, I can use the destination theme and embed the workbook, or I use where I'm copying it from, and I'll embed the workbook. Now I have another one. I have this. I'm pasting here and I'm embedding the workbook. I have another one here also.
Okay, well, I thought the program the one we do is, I don't know if I want to come there. You know, some of those are other lines now, I want to be my pocket good for more. I don't need to bring them to that.
Push your
Which one? Like, how about? But we want to get that down by much.
So this is what you can copy and paste in your PowerPoint. So these are the only things you can copy and paste in your PowerPoint. You can only copy the charts, but you can't copy the sliders. You can't copy the sliders. It's only the charts that you can copy. And you can edit the data that is with it. And you can edit the data that is with it. So this is it. Have you seen it now?
Sorry, how did you, is it that you copied the whole sheet from Excel to PowerPoint now?
No. So while copying, let me go back to one of this. While copying the charts and before pasting, you paste and embed the workbook. Can you see? You know, you have like 5 options to paste.
Yeah.
So when you are pasting and you are embedding the workbook.
What's the meaning of embedding, please?
So you know the chart you are copying has a data.
Okay.
And the data is coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
So while pasting, I'm telling it, paste it together with the data that it is coming from.
Okay.
So I'm embedding the workbook that the chart is carrying along. I'll say, oh, in my PowerPoint, paste it together with the data source it has. Paste it on my PowerPoint. Yes. So that's when you are pasting and you are embedding the workbook. So when you embed the workbook, if you now want to do any manipulation or anything, when you right click on the charts, you see edit data. When you click on edit data, then the workbook that you've embedded with it will open.
Okay.
And now you can see that the embedded workbook has opened now. Can you see?
Okay.
Now, if I do like this, you can see that my chart in my PowerPoint has changed also.
Yeah.
So if I do 2023, my chart also is changing here also. So if I close this, then I have this.
Okay. So this is the only option where
Yes.
the slider can work if you
Yes.
embed.
Yes.
So you can now So what about navigation buttons?
The navigation button for which ones? For
Like,
this.
let's say the pivot table and the dashboard. Or let's say you have multiple dashboards.
Okay.
So instead of you clicking, you can use navigation button to move to.
Okay, good. So now, let's say I have business data here. I have business requests.
Sorry, I don't know if another person has questions, so it doesn't look as if I'm the only one. I'm not
if anybody has questions, they can throw it to the chat box or ask us. So let's say the way you have business requests, business data, sheet 5 dashboard. So in all these, it is dashboard that you have there, all reports. And from your dashboard here, you want to be able to navigate directly to where you have your business data or business requests. No problem. So let's say I want to use, let me merge and center this. And I want to use this to go to the report sheets. When you right click on this, you will see link. Can you see link?
Yeah.
And when you click on the link, I'm saying I want to link this on a sheet in this same workbook. Then I can go and click on the workbook I want this to link to. So now I've selected report, cell A1 or cell A2, anywhere. If I click on OK, now on my dashboard page, if I click on this report that I have here, it will automatically take me to the report sheet. Can you see it?
Hmm.
If it is same thing here, let's say I have something here called dashboard. And from this, if I should select this dashboard, it should take me to the dashboard page.
So if you want to link the dashboard now, you right click and you get to link. You now see dashboard.
Yes, I'll click on the link. I'll say, oh, within these documents, then I'll click on my dashboard. Then I OK it. So if I click on this dashboard, it will take me to the dashboard page. So if I want to go back to the report sheet, all I need to just do from here, I select the reports. Then it takes me to the report sheets. That's just it.
That's interesting. So, sorry, please, one more thing. What about like drill through?
What do you call it?
Drill through. Drill through.
DRIL.
Yeah, true.
GIRL. For
Yeah,
this drill
CH.
through,
Okay.
for this drill through, I only know I can do drill through in my Power BI. I have not used this drill through in Excel before. Yes, I've not. But I'm sure it can. I have just drill through in Power BI very well.
Okay.
So, do we have any other question? Any question? Any question? So I don't think there is question. So in the absence of any, so I think this will be the end of today's class. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Abdulaziz. Thank you.
Really appreciate you, sir. Please, are you in the office?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
So thank you very much, Mr.
Wait, L&D?
Yes.
No. Happy.
Okay, happy.
Yes.
Wow.
It's okay. So once we've covered everything.
Thank you, Abdulaziz.
Yeah, so it seems we've covered everything for today. And,
thank you, Mr. Sunday. Thank you.
So there are no additional questions for now. So do you have any question for Mr. Abdulaziz?
L&D, the video of this presentation.
Yeah, we are going to send it to your mail. Forward it to you after the session. Please, can you confirm that?
We must have got it for the previous ones. I don't know if it was sent.
No, we already sent it. We sent it on Thursday. On Friday, I mean, the last session.
Okay.
We sent it to your mail. So, and I hope we all found today's training beneficial. And so, if
Yes, very.
Sure.
if you have
Although
any
I
question,
couldn't, because I'm on the field
so
right now, I couldn't really practice as I was taking it. But
what do you say, sir? So, if
I
any
said I'll have to
questions
rely
come
on
to
the
your
recording
mind,
because I really have to go to the
yeah,
field
we are going to
for
send that
something
after
very
the
urgent.
session.
Yeah. Thanks.
Like we promised, we sent the last session to your mail, so we are going to send this one too after this session. So since there's no question for our facilitator, I think this is the best time for us to end this session. So thank you for your active participation today, which is the third day of this data analysis for intermediate user training. So which is the last day. So today we dived into some powerful tools that can significantly enhance data analysis skills, which is the pivot tables, conditional formatting, and data and dashboard creation. So I hope we found those topics not just insightful, but also applicable to your daily tasks as a Kedge Electric. So the pivot table are a game changer for summarizing and analyzing large data sets, allowing you to extract meaningful insights quickly. Your engagement in okay, so Mr. Mrs. Sarah, Madam Sarah, your answer is
Yeah,
raised.
yeah,
Okay,
please. I have
go
one more
ahead.
question to ask
Okay.
Mr. Abdulraz. So please, sometimes in Excel sheet, when I copy a special date, you show something like that dates are also numbers. When I copy date and put in maybe another sheet, it will automatically change to those numbers. Please, I know there's a simple format to return them back to date, but I'm not conversant with that.
Okay. So, where's our sheet 5? So we have first dates. Let's use today's dates. Day. Because this +1. So now let me use Madam Ruth BU and transformer. So this is someone's reports. Thank you for even asking that question. So this is someone's report, and I know we all would always fall into this
There's
trap.
something you did now. Please, what was that? Is it a date? I saw a calendar that popped.
So it's not calendar, so it's an auto formatting. I don't want to start formatting myself, so I'll just tell it, let me format it for me. So you can use the shortcut key Auto A. So now this is a date. So now let's say this man is highlighted yellow, and his date that is within it. Now someone has sent you a report that, oh, fill in what you've done, fill it in here. This is my own report. Let me even put border so that everybody will be on the same page. Aha. So want to put the date here. Want to put the dates. I want to put the date here. This is meant to be part of the beginner session. This question you ask. So now, when you copy all this, just look, oh, this is what we do. When we copy this, Control C, what we usually do, we already know Control C, Control V is to paste. Then we come here, we come and do Control V. Forgetting that the template that was given to us, it is already formatted as something. You are only meant to copy and paste what you have as a value. Now, what I have done, I've copied these dates and I've pasted it here with the same format that it has where it is coming from. You can see that with this, it is showing in the form of a date, but it has copied along with the yellow format that we have here. The other way around, if you say, oh, I want to copy these dates and I want to paste you here as values. When you paste as values, now it is going to show you the number equivalent of the date, because this date also is also a number. Now
Sorry,
you
what
can
what did you use to paste as this value now? Which of the options did you use to paste?
So when you right click and paste, you see that you have many paste options. Control C. When you come to where you want to paste and you right click, you will see the normal paste. You paste together with the formats. You will see paste as 1, 2, 3, which is a paste as values. You see paste formula. So let's say what you've copied as a formula and you've copied it. You don't want to paste the value, you only want to paste the formula. You see paste as formula. If what you've copied is in vertical form, you don't want to paste it horizontally. That's the transpose. If what you've copied is horizontal, you don't want to paste it vertically. That's the transpose. You have many paste options. You can even paste as multiplication. See other paste options that you have. You can paste as pictures. You can. But for this question that you asked now, you want to paste as values. You don't want to. Why is this man hanging again? You don't want the high escape. When you copy, you don't want to paste as, where's my formula of myself? View, show my formula of good. So I want you to paste only the values that I have. Control Shift V. Let me come back here and copy it again. Control C. Then I come here, then I paste as values. Control Shift V. When you paste as values, it's going to paste it in the default settings in general. When you go to your numbers format, you see general. From here, you can now say, oh, I want you to show as dates. I hope that answers your question. If it is dates that you're copying, if it is dates that you're copying, as soon as Control C, as soon as you come here where you want to paste it and you do Control V, it will paste it together with the format that you're from where you've copied it. But when you paste it as values, it will only paste it in the default settings. It's only pasting the value. It will neglect all the formats that it's coming along with. So when I do paste as values, then I have this. Then I can say, oh, my numbers format this as a date for me. So that will solve it.
Thank you. I appreciate, sir.
You're
Well
welcome.
placed.
Okay, so Madam Sarah, thank you very much for the question. So, like I was saying,
Thank
we're
you.
talking about the pivot table, and like I said, it's a game changer for summarizing and analyzing large data sets, allowing you to extract meaningful insights quickly. So, I've also explored conditional formatting, which is essential for highlighting important trends, data points in your report. Being able to like visually emphasize informations um, that can greatly improve the clarity and impact of your presentation. And finally, we tackled the creation of dashboards, a vital skills for everyone looking for to present data in a comprehensive and visual appealing manner. So I encourage you all to experiment to experiment with what you learned today and create dashboards that effectively communicate your feelings. So as we wrap up, I urge you all to practice these skills and think about how you can implement them in your work. So the more you apply what you learned, the more proficient you will become. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Laziz Abigani. I really appreciate you for the effort and making this training come um, to be a success. So, and I'll be sharing the survey link in the chat box. So I would like you all to go to the chat box to fill the survey, and we'll be sending the video link to our mail immediately after this session. So I'd like you all to click it and do the needful, which is learning. So thank you very much once again, and do have a wonderful day.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate.
So kindly go to the chat box and fill the survey link.